Hey, good morning. It is Sunday and I have a couple things lined up to do today, one of which I'm really excited about. It's gonna be hot again today. So lessons were canceled, but my trainer, said if I wanted to, I could come up and just hack my horse around that I usually take lessons on, which is something I've wanted for so long. You know, just to be included in a different way. Like, horses need to be exercised, so they trust me enough to like come up and ride him and take care of him. And my dream would be for other people, you know, to be able to do that for other horses, so that I get to ride and that I don't always have to pay. I'm just excited that, like, I feel a little included today, and that's great. In the shade it's cool, but in the sun this morning it's already warm, and the humidity is high. It's so weird because we don't usually get that much humidity here. It's gonna be a hot one, so my goal is to get up there by 8 and ride, and then I don't know, like I might just hang out for a while again because that worked well yesterday. And I don't know what else I'm gonna do today. I really wish I had my drone because I'd like to go out and do some shooting, you know, filming, sorry. Shooting sounds bad. She leaves for Oregon today. I'm assuming she's not going to send me her financial disclosures before she goes at this point. And I've been tempted to text her and just sort of confirm. And I don't know why. I don't know if I want to do that just to be clear or if I'm looking to make contact, you know? I had a really nice connection with a friend last night. We texted back and forth a bunch, actually Snapchatted back and forth a bunch, and then she asked for a movie suggestion. So I suggested something that I really liked. And since she was gonna watch it, I watched it too. Yeah, if you haven't seen In Bruges, it's really, really good. It's dark and kind of funny, but it has a certain intensity to it that I love. Colin Farrell really, really carries it. It's fantastic. So it was fun to watch it again last night, knowing somebody else was watching it at the same time and occasionally texting back and forth, like a funny thing that was said. So I enjoyed that a lot. I've been doing a lot of reading a book on abandonment. I'm reading the book called When Things Fall Apart, and occasionally reading a book on boundaries, but I don't know that the boundaries book matters so much anymore because my wife doesn't want anything to do with me at all. So when somebody doesn't want you, you don't really need boundaries. They just she's just leaving, she's just going away. So I just wanted to say good morning and let you know what's going on. I'll see you later on. Bye. I'm headed to the barn and I'm really excited. And then I got an invite to do something for the day. So I may be driving to the barn, driving home and packing up, and then driving back north again. That could be great. I think I would like to get out of town. I think I'd be into that. So, yeah. You know, I'm hoping that by making these videos, I learned something about myself too. You know, that if watching them back after time, I'll notice patterns about myself or things that I do or ways I tend to think cyclically and, you know, maybe mistakes I won't make again. I don't know. I know what I'm thinking about this morning is this. She's leaving for Oregon at some point today to go on that horse riding trip. I know that I have no interest in ruining that trip for her. I don't. I do wonder if I should touch base with her this morning about the disclosures, and I'm not sure why I'm thinking about that this morning. Is it because she's leaving? Or because I'm going to start to, like, I don't know if I should just not touch it, if I should have been able to talk to her about it last week and I didn't, or what. But my compulsion right now is just to text her and confirm that she won't be sending me any of her disclosure information. But what I sincerely can't figure out is that me being antagonistic? I don't think so, but, you know, is it me just saying, hey, on the dawn of your trip away with your best friend, let me just inject a little bit of me into the situation? And I don't think so. Like, it'd be better to do it now than while she's on the trip, right? Or maybe I should just do what adults do and prepare my own disclosures by myself, and then when we come together at the mediation, see how our notes line up. I don't imagine that I would contact her today and I think that's it. I think my head devolves a little toward fantasy, and if I contacted her, she'd be like, oh, I'm so glad you called, or I'm so glad you contacted me. Yeah, here's what I'm thinking. Because at no point in this process has she been like, here's what I'm thinking. It's always been awful. So maybe that answers my own question. Just leave it alone. She doesn't like me. She doesn't want me. See, what's hard about it is none of it matters. Nothing matters. And it doesn't matter because our relationship is done. She's not coming back. So even if I made a really perfect, compelling argument for why I'm better, she doesn't want it. Like, she's done with me. So I think in my head, I'm trying to solve this puzzle. I'm trying to fight this fight that there's no point in fighting, right? It's, at this point, is it ego? She just doesn't want me. It's such a hard thing to internalize. And I was reading some of my abandonment book this morning because, I like light reading on a Sunday morning. And what I was reading about, it was talking about the difficulty in abandonment breakups, like the one I'm going through, where the person just stops. Because in a lot of ways it is like a death, right? The person just shut it off. The person that I'm married to is gone. So you have to mourn that like a death. It was an unexpected loss. She died. She is no more. But compounded on top of that is the fact that there's an evil twin. So the woman I'm married to is dead, sure. But there's a woman that looks and smells and talks exactly like the woman I was married to. And she keeps texting me and getting in touch with me, and she's trying to divorce me. And she's trying to, I think really importantly, seriously hinder my financial future. And this isn't about money. I didn't get with her for money, but you build a life together and you have certain things you become accustomed to and certain expectations. And if she were to have died, financially it would be different. But she just left me and she wants to take all her toys and go home and leave me with what I came in with, which doesn't respect the fact that we were together for so long. And that's hard. Pretty much all of her actions really don't feel like they respect what I thought was a really amazing relationship. So I'm at the barn. I'm gonna go ride Vinnie. Thanks for listening to that. It's a weird situation to be broken up with like that. Around 9, we got in the ring and there were a whole bunch of us and we sort of rode around, and then my teacher came out and would be like, hey, do this or do that. And it was kind of like a lesson, except not a lesson. And then towards the end, she set up some jumps and I got to jump a little bit. So it was even better than I hoped it would go. It was fantastic. After we rode, I gave him a bath and dried him off and ate some really good popsicles that somebody brought in. And then I met up with my former trainer, Greg, and he was like, we should get mimosas. And I was like, yeah. And I thought maybe it was hypothetical, but shortly thereafter, he was like, all right, you ready to go? And I was about to leave, so I thought, yeah. So we went to a local place that serves good sandwiches and good mimosas, and we got a mimosa and just talked for a bit, and it was a nice way to end things. And now I'm heading home. It is hot out. We're in the high 90s. Every surface of the car is hot and burning, but that's okay. It's summertime. What did you expect? It was a really nice day. I so value my time at the barn and the people there who make me feel welcome. They probably don't know in the present how important they are to me, but maybe if they ever see this video, they'll get a sense of the good they've done to help make me feel okay. So I'm grateful, and I will, once I get well again, I will spend a lot of my time and energy trying to help trying to be aware and trying to help other people be well when maybe they're not well, or just being kind to people regardless if they're well or not. And I feel like I've always tried to do that, but I will redouble my efforts and try to be even better for people, because I've been the recipient of so much kindness in the past few months. So much. I try really hard not to take any gesture from anybody for granted, because people are really amazing. At lunch, I found out from Greg that my wife just followed his account on Facebook, and that sucks. I mean, I guess it doesn't matter. She's trying to be active in the horse world, and it's hard not to take every little thing as a personal middle finger. And who knows? It's just that fact again of she's set up new social media accounts that have nothing to do with me. She drew a line in the sand, deleted everything before it, and started fresh. And that doesn't feel normal. That feels very calculated. She wants to get rid of all records of me. And I think she's done a really good job. Moved out, new relationship, moving to a new town, new social media, divorce in the works, and that hurts. That's more than being broken up with. It's being deleted, you know, or erased from existence. You know, in Back to the Future, when Marty was in the past and his siblings started disappearing from the picture he had in his pocket. That's kind of what I feel like. Like everything she's doing is just making me disappear from her memory. That feels pretty devaluing. Nothing about this situation makes me feel like, oh, she has some respect for the time we had together. She is so done with me. If she feels anything, she does not let on. She's just gone. She's someone new, someone else, not at all connected to the person that used to be with me. And it's so bewildering. How do you do that? How do you just flip it? But that's where we're at. So I will now work to be okay for the rest of the day. You know, morning was good. From wake up to noon, solid, like a good day. Now from noon to sleep time, I'll find other things to be into, and hopefully that'll be great. So, wish me luck. I will check in later and let you know how it's going. Okay, bye. 2 things. One, she texted me. It wasn't a bad text. It said, "Hi, Ken," with exclamation points, and basically said she didn't see the refund from the trip to Chile on her credit card. Could I look into that for her? And it said, "I hope you have a great week. I'm off to Oregon." I know you're off to Oregon. I know. I'm super aware. I hope your best friend has an awesome trip. And the other thing, you know, so I was initially inclined to respond to her and just be like, "Hey, are your disclosures all done? Like, are disclosures all good?" But I didn't, because that would show caring, right? The other thing I wish she knew, but I know she doesn't care, is how much she's f***ed me up with the whole wanting to have a baby with him. How much it hurts and stings, and anything that's vaguely referential to that tears me up. I just heard a This American Life story, and I mean, it was about a dad answering questions for his daughter. It's not a big deal. It was just sort of sweet about him putting his time into answering her big life questions, and how it was really just her appeal to have time and attention from him. And it affects me. And it's weird, because I don't have this passion to have children necessarily, but I don't have a passion to not. And she did, but now all of a sudden she wants a family with somebody else. And it is such, I don't know why, it is such betrayal. It is so painful. I'm struggling to put words to it. I don't exactly know why, but, you know, everyone's like, "It's not you, Ken, it's not you." But it's not me that she wants to have a future and kids with either. And I would have been really good at that. Every time I think about it, it hurts. Or every time something makes reference to it, it hurts. When I watched How to Be Single the other day, and the one character went from not wanting kids to wanting kids, it hurt. Even though it was a dumb comedy, like, it struck a chord and it hurt. And people tell me, "Oh, you're still young, you know, you can still meet somebody, and you can." Yeah, I could, and it could be great. But I liked what I had. Yeah, I was cleaning a memory card off yesterday. I was just deleting files, and there were a couple files on one that was just, it was some test footage I shot of her in the kitchen talking to me, and she was making Trader Joe's snap peas in the microwave. Just talking about who she was going to vote for on Dancing with the Stars. A totally innocuous, you know, it was just the kind of conversation we'd have. How many votes she had, and who she was going to vote for, and who got what, blah, blah, blah. Like, and I don't have that anymore, and I miss it. And he has that now. I hate him a little for it. Because he knew me, and I knew him. That's a shitty thing to do to somebody. When I talked to somebody yesterday about him, they were like, his parents bought him that house. So he's not doing adulting any better than me. Yes, he has more money than me because his parents gave it to him. She's gonna settle down at 31 with him on a horse barn so he doesn't have to travel and they can spend more time together. What? I mean, I know our lives weren't the most exciting lives, but I mean, I can't speak to a shift in priorities. She wants what she wants. She's going after that. And I probably create more stress for myself than I should, but I keep thinking to the future and wondering, what am I going to do for Christmas? Maybe I'll be different in 5 months. There's no point in worrying about that right now. But I do. You know, this book I'm reading about is just talking about like being present in the, you know, be present in the now and just feel whatever you feel. But I always think forward. That's just who I am. It's what I do. So if I shut that off, I'm not being me, or I'm not being true to me. So what do I do? What I want right now, I want to know if her disclosures are done, if they went okay, if she's okay. I want to know that. Why? She doesn't like me. She doesn't like this is all about getting divorced. This is all about getting away from me. So why should I wonder if her paperwork turned out okay? I shouldn't. So why am I doing this? What is this just self-destructive? Like what is this I'm doing, wondering about her? On the one hand, I'm being honest right now. That's what I'm feeling. It's what I'm thinking. Like, I recognize I'm thinking about her. I recognize what it is I want to do. And now what? And now I guess do it or don't. The smart move is don't. I like my therapist because she watches my face. Because I'll say something, and more important than what I say, she'll look at me and be like, what was that? What was that thought? What just went through your mind? I want somebody who cares about me on that level, loves me on the level that I loved her on. I saw when thoughts went through her head. Like, I knew what she was thinking. Or I knew she was thinking something other than what she was... Like, I knew these things. I loved her that way. I cared about her that way. I was deeply, deeply invested in her. And I thought she was for me. And then to come back to the same refrain. How do you turn that off? But maybe she was never that deeply invested in me. She'd read my expressions or read my micro expressions when she was being negative and critical or a little crazy. I'm gonna stop. Thanks for listening.